Testing. Okay. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the Nemesis Online Racing League, round number 16, here in Russia for the second half of the championship, now well and truly underway. I'm just about getting set up here. We do apologise for the awful sound you're hearing in the background. That is my controller charging. The battery's pretty low, so I do apologise for that. Kevin says in the chat, how's your day going? Busy, really. Been a bit all over the place, but we just got here in time for this. And hopefully it'll be a good race. For back to reality tomorrow. But you all know how it is. Okay, so it will be qualifying as usual. So as you know, in qualifying, the drivers get one lap. If you've never watched before and you've been wondering, the drivers get one lap for qualifying, where they get to set their fastest lap of the session, and then that will determine where they start on the race grid. So we will be riding on board with the favourite to take pole position. So Kevin Jacobs retires immediately from the session, so he will not take any further part in this session. So we're riding on board with, I believe this is Nibbler, or was Nibbler. We're not quite sure who we're with now. We was with Nibbler. Can we go back to Nibbler? Who are we with? Let's just go on Nibbler. No, don't want to review Nibbler's profile. There we go, spectating the Nibbler. So this is the man who's the favourite to take pole position, the man who's mainly the fastest in this session, and he will look to set pole position as quick as he can. So coming around the next few corners, you can see that he will be pushing with all of his might through the second sector, very tight and twisty. Track extending a little bit, playing danger with the track limits, and you can just see how careful this driver has to be to not go over the track limits, get a penalty, and therefore the lap will not count. But so far, Nibbler's in second. Is actually Callum Spencer. It's a Force India 1-2 at the moment. So them guys have been very good in qualifying thus far. Will it be someone other than a Ferrari on pole position, I wonder? So we're coming up to the final sector. Defste's in a very good position. Could equal his best qualifying of the season. Looks like he's still battling for pole position with Callum Spencer and Nibbler. So it's going to be anyone's game coming into the penultimate and then the final corner. So up to the final corner we go. Who's going to get pole position? Is it going to be Callum Spencer? Yes, it is. Callum Spencer on pole. Defste's third. Great result for him. Best of qualifying of his NORL career so far. Chazza only fourth. The Ferrari's not that much quicker than the Force Indias here today. And Callum Spencer takes another pole position, his first since Canada. Will he be able to take the win here? He was unable to take the win in Canada. And he'll be looking to stop that from happening this time around. Less than 2 tenths separate the top two. Less than 5 tenths separate the top 4. So looking like we could have, for the first time this season, a very close race involving more than the Ferraris at the front. Mainly Hypersoft drivers out on there. Lord George's up there in 12th on the Ultrasoft, so he's had a good result beating Maka on the Hypersofts. Kevin Jacobs had a qualifying ban. Okay. And that would have been for... I'm not sure. I think that was for taking Maka out last weekend. Seppi qualifying all the way down there on the Hypersofts as well. So, what does Russia hold for us this weekend? We've had some boring races at Russia in the past. Hopefully we're not in for another one. Hopefully we're in for an exciting one. We'll see how these guys handle Mother Russia. So we're just waiting for the players to load into the grid, and then we will be ready to go racing for the NORL F1 2018 Championship, round number 16 in Russia, around the Sochi Autodrome. The track built around the Olympic Stadium. What a crazy race we might be in for. Callum Spencer on pole position. This is without a doubt Force India's strongest qualifying of the season. Will they be able to make anything from it? And we'll see how well they do. We're on the formation lap now, of course. Drivers get the chance to warm up their tyres as Defstairs almost goes into the wall. I think out of excitement of how well he's doing. So like we said, the majority of people qualified on the Hypersofts. So let's see who stayed on them. Everyone in the top 10 is on the Hypersofts. And then a few people, including Lord George, swapped to the Hypersoft outside of the top 10. So he suffered the misery of qualifying on the Ultras for no reason. And then Murcielago, Seppi and Kevin have all opted for the soft tyres. So if you're new to this, just in case we have some new people in here. Hypersofts, so HS on the left of your screen, they're the fastest tyres available, but they run out the quickest. The softs are pretty much the hardest tyres you'll be wanting to go on at the moment, but they do not go very well. The leader and second place just crashed into each other on the formation lap, so those guys won't get any further participation in this formation lap. They will have to wait on the grid to get going. And let's get ready to race then. So Defstairs will lead them around the final sector. And we'll get ready to go racing. Force India with a surprise qualifying, looking to impress. Will they be able to take it to Ferrari today? Do they have that single lap pace consistently? What can Force India do today? This could be an awesome result to watch. This could be a real titanic battle between the Pink Panthers and the Red Ferraris today. So let's line up on the grid and let's get ready to go racing in Russia. The awesome roller coaster stares us down in the face. But these guys are about to go on a roller coaster of their own, one which they control. Bad result in qualifying for Red Bull. Both cars pretty low down the order. Both of them taking up 13th and 14th. Maka on the Hypers though. Murcielago going for some soft running, so we'll see how well those guys do. We finally see the Haas showing up on the back of the grid. Everyone's tyres dropping in temperature as Kevin takes his sweet time to get to the grid, but he's ready to go. So let's get ready to go racing then. What is this camera view? I'm not sure. I do apologise. There we go. We're all back to normal. Let's go racing in Russia. Lights out and away we go. Who gets the better start out of the front? It looks like a pretty good start from everyone. Defstairs gets a very good start. Might be able to challenge his teammate around the outside for pole position. And Nibbler getting a little bit squirmy. Renault makes contact with a Ferrari in the background as well. This is almost four abreast going into turn one. Callum Spencer leads. Testermeister making a good start. Defstairs makes contact, has to cut the track. Nibbler's under pressure now from Testermeister. Looking to go up the inside through the flat outright corner. Defstairs drops down into fourth. We can see some cars side by side in the background. Bad start for Chazza. All the way down in sixth. Very late braking, trying to hold it around the outside of the Toro Rosso with Ragnar. Ragnar swears to avoid contact in the background. Dougie Afro, man, has made contact with someone, and Danny Bin Lahar has been the big loser in all of that. They're still all in the race, but going around again. That was Lordjaw getting very slidey on the back tyres, looking to go up the inside. Nothing do it on that occasion. Meanwhile, looks like Dougie Afro, man, making that position up on the Red Bull, now getting an even better run to try and go around the outside of Kevin Jacobs. Good move from Dougie Afro, man, early on. We can see action still going on. In the meantime, this is Anel Tanovic going side by side with Chazza, who's had a pretty bad start considering everything else, all things considered. Now we go down the start finish straight once again. Nemesis Racing looking for anything. We're going to come down into a very steep braking zone here. Could all end in tears. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? Nemesis looking to go up the inside of the Ferrari. Contact between the Ferrari A and the Ferrari B team, but they all get through unscathed. Chazza looking to battle it out with a McLaren, giving us battles of the days of old. Ferrari versus McLaren. Ferrari trying to go around the outside, but getting forced up against the wall by the McLaren. The McLaren holds still on the inside line. Nemesis Racing dives for it, makes contact, almost loses his front wing by going into the wall. Survives for now. Lordjaw does get past him, but now Nemesis Racing gets a run on the Mercedes straight away down the inside. We can see Danny Bin Lahar gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. This is Nemesis making the move past Lord Jod at the moment, side by side, still going into turn one. The Haas gets the job done. What a crazy start. Nibbler and Testermeister still beginning to battle. Defstairs isn't too far behind. He can still capitalise on this at the moment. Lord George is coming back on Nemesis Racing, looking to go up the inside now. This is from a long way back. Contact! And there's the Nemesis Racing car going around. No, he holds on for dear life. Macca's now going to get involved, and he's going to split them in the middle. Can he go around the outside of Lord George UK? He can, but he goes wide, and that's going to bring him right back into the clutches of the Mercedes, who now holds on once again. Crazy start. Macca's still looking for a way past Lord George. Nothing doing on this particular occasion. He's got to hold firm, got to hold true. Macca holds on in P9 for now. Nemesis Racing is getting a little bit on the throttle too early, looking for anything around Macca. Macca goes slow on that apex. That allows a nice switchback contact between the Haas and the Red Bull. Red Bull's got to try hold it on the outside. Of course, now the inside advantage is given to Nemesis Racing unless he can hold it on the outside. No, he backs out of it. Rather keep his front wing for another day. Nemesis can barely stop though. Almost T-burns the Mercedes of Lord John. Now Macca has an opportunity to go around the outside. Nothing doing on that occasion. Now Kevin Jacobs. Oh, Macca's gone flying off the road. Galactic Skull 2 does very well not to make contact there. What happened on there? Macca just got a tank slapper all by himself, and now he's under pressure from the Sauber looking to go up the inside. Nothing doing. Macca outbreaks himself once again. Now goes wide. Will lose that position to Galactic Skull 2. Macca drops P11, but Macca tries to hold it around the outside. Good battling between the Sauber at the moment and the Red Bull. Side by side through the flat out turn 1 into turn 2. They will come side by side. DRS in favour of the Sauber. That should pull him along and pass quite easily into the braking zone. He makes the move on Macca. Jobs are good, and Chaza, meanwhile, is still battling away with Aneltanovic. What a terrible start for the man we're so used to seeing battling for the win. Really struggling at this phase in the race. Can't find anything to challenge Aneltanovic with at the moment. I say that, and he gets a better run side by side. We'll now have the inside line. Is he able to pass Aneltanovic? Yes, he is. Job is a good one. He's up a position into P6 for Chaza. Next up is Ragnar. We'll see how long it'll take him to catch and pass. Nemesis Racing is still racing with Lord Jord in the background. Tester Meister really putting the pressure on Nibbler. The DRS pulling to the outside. This is for second position. Tester trying to go all the way around the outside. Will Nibbler let him go? Yes, he will. Nibbler keeps his front wing for another day. What a crazy grid we've got here. Nibbler going a little bit wide, really struggling. But at understeer at the moment, Nemesis Racing and Lord Jord are battling like two titans at the moment. Nemesis Racing closes the inside. Lord Jord wanted to go there, but didn't have an option. Wasn't able to go there. Therefore has to stay behind. Nothing doing. And we were saying how long would it be before Chaza caught Ragnar. The answer was the rest of that lap. Chaza's now right behind Ragnar and will absolutely put the hammer down to try pass Ragnar into turn 1. They've both got DRS. How hard will Ragnar defend this? He goes to the inside line. Will Chaza be able to dummy him? No, because Ragnar moves back to the racing line as well. But in doing that, he misses his braking point, and now Chaza's able to go around the outside. Surely not. That's going to be so close. This component completely flat out. Chaza looking for anything. Can he go up the inside? No, he can't. Holds back. Ragnar slowing the braking again though, and that's going to allow Chaza to pull along side by side. Surely he's got to send it up the inside this time. No, backs out of it because Ragnar goes wide again. Misses his braking point. Track extends. Will get a warning for that from the stewards. Can't do that and get away with it. Chaza really putting all the pressure on Ragnar here. Red car and the blue car had a race indeed. Toro Rosso versus red car. Ferrari, codename Mission win now. Can the Ferraris win now? I'm not sure. It's been a tough start to the Russian Grand Prix for Ferrari. So here we go then. Chaza moves up onto the inside again. Contact between the two. Ragnar went to shut the door when he was already there. Is Chaza going to be able to make the move up the inside? Ragnar's going to try hold it on the outside. Chaza goes in deep, and that's going to allow Aneltanovic to have a little sniff on the Toro Rosso. The Toro Rosso squeezes Aneltanovic out there. Doesn't let him by. And through the final sector we come. That battle's all but disintegrated now. Positions all a little bit more realistic. Testermeister's gaining on Callum Spencer for the lead of the race at the moment. He's actually got DRS on the Force India. Be interested to see if Destes can challenge Nibbler for the podium here today. Galactic Skull 2 is in the pit lane, albeit with a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And Altanovic is still looking for anything, but the more important thing is Kevin Jacobs going down the inside for P9 and Lord Jog UK side by side, squeezes him off the track. Lord Jog cuts the corner but still keeps in the fight, and therefore they're going to go around this next flat out left-hander. Lord Jog holds on for now. Kevin Jacobs looking for anything, no, nothing doing. Lord Jord on the hyper soft, Kevin Jacobs on the softer, so it is really advantage Lord Jord, but Kevin is just managing to make these soft tyres generate as much grip as the hypers, unless the hypers are already starting to fall off. Kevin's really putting pressure on Lord Jord now in the Haas, looking for any way to get by. Nowhere doing 1/10 of a second. Anything, nothing. And that race is all... Is it still going? Kevin Jacobs is behind Lord Jog. Will have DRS this time around. Will he be able to send it up the inside? Here he comes. Pulls to the outside. So he's got to go the long way around unless he can pass him before the braking zone. He's going to try and cut across the nose of Lord Jog. Goes wide in doing so. That's going to allow Lord Jog to do effectively a switchback. Now he has the inside. Kevin can't move across to close that yet, but stays ahead anyway. Good move from Kevin Jacobs. Meanwhile, Chazza has closed in on Defstez. Meanwhile, Defstez is closing in on Nibbler. So Nibbler really struggling for pace at the moment. Is Defstez going to go up the inside? No. Has to cut the corner to avoid. That's going to allow Chazza to have a sniff up the inside of the flat-out left corner. So for Force India trading off with Ferrari already. Can the Force India send it back up the inside and keep his position? No, surrenders it to Chazza. And that's Chazza up into P4, but Nibbler really struggling for pace at the moment. Look at the train that is forming behind the championship contender. How hard will he fight his teammate? Of course, these guys are championship rivals, so usually you'd let your teammate through, but when he's your championship rival, I'm not so sure you would. Chazza's looking for anywhere past Nibbler at the moment. Side by side, DRS for Chazza. This is all but complete, this move now. So it's going to be very tough. How hard can Nibbler defend against DRS? And this is Defstez getting involved. Going to be free abreast. This is going to be absolutely crazy. Chazza makes a big lock up. Defstez cuts the corner to avoid contact. Now Defstez trying to go around the outside of the championship contender, the Australian of Nibbler. Can Defstez make it? Going into the final sector now. He's going to have the inside of the next corner, but Nibbler squeezes him out. That is experience versus speed right there. Nibbler knew what to do. Despite not having the pace, he knew where to squeeze him out. And that allowed Ragnar to get past Defstez. But Defstez says, no thank you, ma'am. Tries to take that corner back up the inside of the final corner. Good move by Defstez to retake P5. But now he's really under pressure from the Italian and the Toro Rosso behind. And Altanovic is going to have a front row view of this as well. You can see all these cars moving around crazily in front of him. Ragnar's now boxed in. He doesn't have anywhere to go. He has to accept his fate. Can he make two moves in one? The Altanovic madman. No, he cannot. And he actually loses a position to Ragnar in the end there. Now Ragnar's going to try and go up the inside of Defstez. Defstez has the inside for the next corner. Going into the next corner, Defstez tries to hold it. Ragnar breaks a little deep contact between Force India. Oh, big contact! Defstez loses his front wing, and Altanovic is caught up in that as well. Oh, it's all gone wrong. Defstez loses his front wing. He's going to have to pip damage. I think and Altanovic has lost his as well. These guys are now battling with no front wing. It's really hard to place blame on that incident. Ragnar came back on the track in a very aggressive manner, but that was because he was squeezed off the track by Defstez. There's many... And Altanovic is not happy in the slightest, goes straight on and DNFs. Really not happy, the man in the McLaren. The stewards will look into that, I'm almost certain, but there goes Defstez dreams of a podium. Meanwhile, how long can Callum Spencer hold off Testomeister? Both of these guys looking for the first NORL F1 win. And this is their opportunity to get it. Force India versus Renault, usually a battle for the midfield, this time a battle for the lead. Testomeister's got DRS, Callum pulls to the inside, but just what can he do against that DRS? Callum goes late on the brakes, misses his braking point, cuts the corner, will get a warning for corner cutting, but Testomeister's all over the back of the Force India now, looking to send up the inside. Callum Spencer makes a mistake, big mistake from Callum Spencer, he's spun out, and he's out! Callum Spencer has just dropped it from the lead all by himself. The leader just spun out and crashed all by himself. I'm not sure, maybe there was a bit of contact with some lag there. That is huge for this race. It's all unravelled for Force India in a matter of meters. Testameister now leads by default. Was there contact through lag? Galactic Skull 2 is overtaking Danny Ibn Lahar meanwhile. Danny Ibn Lahar on the soft compound tyres really didn't have much to defend with there, but he'll try come back around and pass Galactic Skull 2. I'm really not sure if... I can only imagine that's a very strange accident, unless Callum Spencer was hit on his screen and there was a little bit of lag between Tester and Callum Spencer, because on our screen there was no contact, but it's a very strange crash to have by yourself. It's all, no matter what happens in the stewards' room, you know, no matter what penalty or no penalty to decide on, it has all come undone for Force India in a lap. Force India looked set to get a double podium this weekend. The other one lost his front wing and the leader crashed out of the lead. Now Testameister's been gifted the lead. Defstez trying to go around the outside of Danny Ibn Lahar. Good move by Defstez, very good move. Danny Ibn Lahar is looking to try go around the outside in the meantime. I am going to unplug, just bear with me. I do apologise, I was just checking that we had enough battery to unplug it so you didn't hear that awful screaming anymore. We do, so you don't have to hear that awful background noise anymore. So Defstez now hunting down Galactic Skull 2 to try get into the points. What a crazy start to this race. So Callum Spencer says, got so much oversteer when he went wide, so he did drop it all by himself and crashed out of the lead. That is crazy. That is such a NORL moment. I thought there might have been a little bit of lag between Testo and Callum, but no. Take it back. I do apologise to Testo. It was all Callum Spencer. Crazy. What a heartbreaking way to crash out of a race where you could have taken your first NORL F1 win. That must be pretty hard to take. Nibbler picks up a 5-second stop go speeding in the pit lane. Been a very strange race so far. The Ferraris haven't had the pace. The race leader's crashed out. This is Defstez. The guy who's challenging for the podium, Defstez, the American, lost his front wing after making contact with Ragnar. It's been a crazy Russian Grand Prix so far. This is Defstez trying to close down the Scotsman of Galactic Skull 2 in the final two corners. He's trying, but nothing doing on this occasion. He will have DRS. How much does Galactic Skull 2 have to defend in terms of ERS? Because it's DRS versus ERS here. They've both got similar levels of ERS. How far does Defstez send it from? Not enough. Stays behind him for now. It's going to be very close between these two. Oh, Galactic Skull 2's on the AstroTurf. Meanwhile, in front, Dougie Afroman is battling away with Seppi, trying to go all the way around the outside. Good move by Dougie Afroman. Big lock-up from Seppi. Could have been so easy to go to the side of him. Good racing from the both of them for that not to happen. Chazza then pits. And we'll just see how effective Testo's undercut was. Defstez still trying to pass Galactic Skull 2, who now gets DRS on Seppi, so makes his job all that much harder. Seppi's actually been caught so much here. Oh, and it's caused Galactic Skull 2 to check up, which has allowed Defstez to have a sniff. Defstez will try to go around the outside of Galactic Skull 2. He's still there. They're both side by side going into the final sector. Seppi's actually looking like he's going to let these two through. He does let him do. Contact between Galactic Skull 2 and Defstez. Seppi lets them both through in the meantime. Here comes Chazza just ahead of Kevin Jacobs. Nemesis Racing then leads. Testameister in a net lead when all is said and done in the pits. Nibbler's had an awful Russian Grand Prix so far, down in 7th. Defstez DRS on Galactic Skull 2. Could this be the moment we've been waiting for? Defstez looking to go up the inside, down heavy on the brakes, but no. Galactic Skull 2 beats him under braking once again. Sauber very confident on its brakes compared to Defstez. Nibbler, meanwhile, is going around the outside of Murcielago, who's just letting people through. It's not his fight. We saw Seppi doing a similar thing. The soft drivers just looking to mind their own business at the moment, and hopefully that'll pay dividends with him later. Nibbler received the reprimand last week for making contact with Ragnar. See if there's any bad blood between the red car and the blue car having a race again for the second time today. Nibbler looking to go up the inside, and he's going to come from an awful long way back down the inside. Can Ragnar hold it around the outside? He can. Tries to hold it up the inside. Contact, I think, between the two. Nibbler goes off the track. It's very hard to see if there was actually contact there or not. I'm not sure. We had a really bad camera angle for that particular incident. Nibbler's looking, anything. Did he try to scare Ragnar a little bit off the road there? It looks like he did. Did it work? I'm not sure it did. So at the final corner we come then once again. Going for the inside, going for the turn 1 overtake. And look at that, he doesn't even need to wait until that. Ragnar has just no top speed compared to that Ferrari. Ferrari's passed before we even get to the braking. Good move by Nibbler. He's up into 4th. And positions are exchanged. At some point, Seppi has re-overtaken Galactic Skull 2. And then those guys are about to trade positions once again. Sauber up the inside, job done. Ragnar's trying to stick with Nibbler at the moment. Not sure he's going to be able to. Chazza has gained about 2 seconds on Testameister. So the race for the lead is not quite on at the moment. But it's not over either. Seppi repassed Galactic Skull 2 at some point as well. Just trying to keep an eye on this gap and Nibbler and Ragnar's. That is a wide track excursion for the Sauber. And that's another wide track excursion for the Sauber, who hits the wall. Gets away with it. Galactic Skull 2, has he got front wing damage? I think he has. Yeah, I think you see, look, the front right, the right-hand side of that wing is missing. So there is damage for Galactic Skull 2. Nibbler now sets the fastest lap of the race. He's actually caught Kevin Jacobs, who's yet to pit. So Kevin likely won't fight this that much. Nibbler clean around the outside, heavy on the brakes. And he's up into P3 on the podium now. Interesting. Galactic Skull 2 pits for that front wing change. I'm going to assume doesn't look like it would be a scheduled stop. Maka picks up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Maka just happy to finish this race at this point after having 2 DNFs in a row since joining the league. Still looking for his first finish in the series. Not had the best of luck since joining NORL, the Brit. Only recently started sim racing. Looking to improve all the time. Ragnar then makes the move on Kevin Jacobs as well. I'll be interested to see how hard Kevin is fighting on these tyres. Doesn't look like he intends to fight that hard at all. Nemesis Racing now passes his Murcielago. I was going to say his compatriot, thinking of the car model, but Murcielago, of course, hailing from Austria, and whereas the car he's named after, hailing from Italy, of course, Lamborghini. Def says has more than caught Dougie Afro, man, as he came in a little bit hot on the brakes there to Dougie Afro, man. who he's now looking to pass. Deste's trying to reclaim as many positions as he can after losing his front wing very early on. Dougie on the Ultrasoft, 12 lap old Ultrasofts. He'll lose that position to Deste's quite easily, taken by the American. Hypersoft still looking like they got quite a lot of grip at this phase of the race. Deste's up to 8th. Will the Sauber on the Ultras be able to come back at all? As he skids off the AstroTurf behind the apex. Don't think he's going to be able to come back whatsoever. 7.5 attempts. Up to a second. Over a second now. Over and out for Destes. Lord George closing in on Seppi. Ultras versus Sauce once again. Lock up for Seppi. It's going to allow Lord George to close in even further. He will have DRS. Which he does. Is he going to be able to make the move though? Ooh, lock up for Seppi. Actually forces him to go a little bit wide. Is that going to allow Lord George to look? No, Lord George stays behind for now, and Death says pits then. Hypersource clearly past their sell-by date. Into the penultimate corner, now the final corner. Lord George heavy on the throttle then. Seventh gear, pulls to the outside, 8th gear now. Can he go around the outside into turn 1? Seppi, big lock up again, cuts the corner. But regardless, Lord George through. Superior grip from them Ultrasofts. They're younger. They're a softer compound. It was all in Lord George's favour there. And he got the job done when he needed to. But he does make a mistake that allows Seppi to stay in contention. Still pushing with all that he dare. Seppi's doing well for being on 14 lap old Sauce. He's staying with Lord George at the moment. He'll get DRS on Lord George. It's a bit of a role reversal from this time last lap. 4/10 of a second down to 3, and then it's going to be 2, and then I'm going to assume it's going to be 1 into the braking. 1.5, but Seppi's just locking up so much under braking right now. Has to synchronize swap up for 5th and 6th in the meantime. Seppi needs to think about getting off them tyres, I think. The amount he's locking up really not going to help the life of those tyres. You see, Kevin Jacobs is yet to pit, so he's let his teammate through. The right thing to do. Testo controlling the race, on for his first NORL F1 win. Unless Chazza can stop him, but it just doesn't look like Chazza has the pace at the moment. The Ferrari guy's really struggling in Russia. Seppi's still trying to find a way past Lord George. Testameister pits then for a second time. Now, what if he goes on the softs? He'll be aiming to go to the end of this Grand Prix, definitely. What tyres is he going to go for? Chazza stays out. And it's a front wing change for Testameister. That could have serious implications later on in the race when he needs to pit again. And he's gone on the Ultras again. So is he going to try stretch these ultra soft tyres 10 laps into this Grand Prix? We haven't seen this yet. We've seen Dougie Aframan on 14 lap old Ultras. But Dougie's pace has severely dropped off. Is this going to be a good enough strategy for Tester to take the win here today? He's had a front wing change, which is going to help Chaz's undercut attempt. He's going to try go for the win. His first ever NORL win. Galactic Skull 2 has disconnected in the meantime. Destes, meanwhile, is passing Seppi in that little Lord George scrap that he's having. Destes looking to get back into the points. Now, will Chaza respond straight away to this undercut from the leader? Or is Chaza going to try go for an overcut? It's a good chance, but Chaza needs to think about what tyres he's going to go on to the end of the race, because we can see it's possible. Dougie Afroman is out on 15-lap-old Ultras. It is possible. But is the pace any good? But it depends on how quick Chaz is going to respond to this undercut, and he's going to stay out. Will Nibbler pit? No, he'll stay out as well. Now, Tester has pitted, and he took on a new front wing, so that's going to cost him about 5 more seconds in this race, which was about the gap he had to Chaza. So these guys are on about level pegging at the moment. Of course, Tester's going to be faster on these brand new Ultrasofts. It's going to be very interesting. Destes passes Lord George. Lord George's trying to come back on him. Not able to. And Destes picks up a time penalty for corner cutting. Oh, Tester looking to go past Kevin Jacobs from a long, long way back down the inside. Job is a good one. I do apologise for that notification that may have just come up on your screen. Unfortunately, they're the one notification you can't turn off. And that was actually, it's actually a key piece of information, actually, that notification, because that was Galactic Skull 2 coming back online. So Galactic Skull 2 definitely lost his internet connection, but of course he will be allowed to retake control of his car and continue from where he left off. We've got yellow flags in Sector 3. Who is that from? Whoever it was has got themselves sorted out, it looks like. Dougie Afroman, in the meantime, is closing on a Murcielago. Both these guys on awfully dead tyres. Not sure who's in a worse position for tyre life at the moment. It looks like Murcielago is struggling more than Dougie Afroman is. Dougie Afroman with DRS looking to go for P7. And it's going to be from a long way back if he sends it from there. Decides to hold back. These guys still here, ready to battle with each other. Through the final sector. Testameister sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. That'll give the Ferraris an idea of what to do on the strategy. These guys have got to be careful that they don't get a puncture. They've been on these tyres for so long, it is possible for these guys to get punctured. Danny says enough and gets off those tyres. Dougie Afroman will get DRS on Murcielago and will just pull to the inside. Pass him down the inside. Job is a good one. Not really much Murcielago could offer in a defence there on 18-lap-old softs. Ultras for Danny Bin Lahar. Optimal strategy. If you're going on the Ultras now is a great time to get on them, which is what I'm going to assume Lord George and Seppi are going to do in their pit stops. Ultra soft tyres then for Lord George. And I'm going to assume it'll be a similar story for Toro Rosso. Ultras for them as well. So yeah, if you want to go on Ultras to the end, this is the prime time to do it. Because you're in a phase of the race now where the Ultras will make it to the end and they'll keep good pace to the end. Whereas Testers are going to go off a little bit towards the end. I get the feeling, unless Nibbler and Chaza have been doing some insane tyre conservation and are going to try go to the end of the race, I'd be very impressed if that is what they're doing, and that's why they've been slower than usual. But I get the feeling they're trying to go towards a hyper-soft strategy for the final few laps of this race and just have incredible pace. Kevin Jacobs finally pits on the 18-lap-old softs. Says enough is enough. And the Haas on pit lane. Murcielago will have DRS on Dougie Afroman this time around. He's got a fully charged battery, Murcielago. If he deploys that, he might gain some time back on the Scotsman, who seems to be pulling away based on grip alone. Doesn't gain as much as I thought he would. Defstairs now passes Kevin Jacobs. Kevin out on the Hypersofts then. The first of the Hypersoft runners. Going to try to do 7 laps on the Hypers. Not sure. I'll see how that pans out. Testermeister's going at it with his compatriot Nemesis Racing meanwhile. Nemesis yet to pit if he's going to pit again. So I don't think he'll fight that hard, but he won't make it easy. Tester through with a bit of ERS and DRS, so not really much Nemesis had to say in that one. Positions are exchanged. Ragnar's closing in on Nibbler. Chaz is still staying out though. I'm very curious to see what they're doing. Subaru Ryan says he got you to catch it. Hey buddy, how you doing? Good to see you again, my man. You've missed a crazy race. What have you missed so far? Well, you missed a lot. Callum J. Spencer leading the race and then crashed out by losing it all by himself. Defstairs in the podium position gets taken out by Ragnar, who also takes out Anel Tanovic in that big little domino effect. And mainly, the Ferraris haven't had the pace today at all, but find themselves first and second. It was Testermeister who was leading the race, and he pitted 4 laps ago. And the Ferraris are still yet to pit, so we're just waiting to see what Ferrari's plan is. Are they trying to go to the end? Are they going to put some Hypersofts on in the last couple of laps? We're really not sure at the moment. But the Ferraris haven't had the pace today at all. But they found themselves in first and second. Who would have thought? Disco 2 pits and them Ultras. Ragnar's really gaining on Nibbler now. Nibbler's struggling in this final sector. Nibbler's struggled. Well, I say he's struggled and he's still in second, so I'm sure he's not that upset. But I mean, he struggled in terms of where we've usually seen him. I get the feeling, I really do have a feeling that Ferrari have been slower today because they're trying to do this crazy one-stop strategy from Hypers to Ultras. And that's why, because they've been doing an incredible amount of tyre conservation. Testermeister's been leading most of this race. Ever since Callum crashed himself out, Tester's been leading this race. Nibbler goes very wide meanwhile. But then he pitted, and the Ferraris haven't responded yet. Murcielago meanwhile managed 20 laps on them soft tyres. Can we just give a shout out for Dougie Aframan, who's done 20 laps on the ultra soft tyres? Crazy, crazy strategy. So you can see the ultra softs can do it. They can go to the end if they want. But we're just wondering what, you know, at what cost, what pace do they have? Are they going to be able to secure 1-2? Because Ragnar's coming in to try to throw a spanner in the works. Isn't he going to go down the inside? No, Nibbler, a little bit of a lock-up, messes up the corner a little bit. That's going to allow Ragnar to get a better optimum line. And the final sector now. Ragnar's searching for a weakness in the Ferrari's armour. No one pits, no one blinking yet. Testermeister absolutely terrified that he's made the wrong decision here. Should he have stayed out? Was pitting again the right call? He's 8 seconds behind. If he wants to win this race on pace alone, he needs to be a lot quicker than he is. I honestly think Ferrari's going to the end. I'll be very shocked if Ferrari pits again. At this point, I'm beginning to unravel Ferrari's strategy. Yeah, you will have to catch the race back later. At least the skip to the key moments, because there was some crazy accidents. But I'm beginning to think Ferrari's strategy all along has been slower, but conserve them tyres and make the one stop, and then just win based on the time you get from not making the extra stop. kind of more of a Le Mans strategy, really, than an F1 strategy, but it's put them in a 1-2 position, so they you know, take all the Le Mans strategies that you want. It's put them in a hell of a place. So here we go then, on the throttle, DRS around the outside for Ragnar. Looking to try to take second away from the Australian, nothing doing on that occasion. There's a very fast Sauber on new tyres behind these guys as well, just having to patiently wait, but he's got a front row seat if anything goes wrong. Nibbler really starting to feel the pressure from the Italian now, and I think the Italian might be about to pass him if he gets a good exit out of the final corner. It's average. Nibbler doesn't have as much ERS, doesn't have DRS. It's all looking in Ragnar's favour now. Nibbler goes ultra defensive, he knows he has to. Ragnar doesn't follow him for the slipstream though, that's a mistake from Ragnar. Nibbler's still holding on for dear life. Ragnar looking for anything to take P2 away. Does he go down the inside? No, holds back. Trying to trick Nibbler into outbraking himself. What a run from Ragnar. Now Nibbler covers the inside, then moves back across. Holding. Nibbler really putting up a mighty defense here against Ragnar. An incredible display of racing between these two. Ragnar just can't find a weakness in Nibbler's armor. Meanwhile, Destes trying to go around the outside. Kevin Jacobs, these two battling away. This P7 and P8. Destes was on for his first podium. It was cruelly taken away from him. Pending an steward's investigation. I'll be interested to see what those guys make of that, because it was a very 50-50 accident. Like I said before, Ragnar came back on the track very aggressively into the side of Destes, but he was only out there because Destes squeezed him out there, so I'm not sure how the stewards will look at that one. I'll put it this way. We have seen no further action for a lot more malicious accidents this season. So it's, you know, hard to predict. Seppi, meanwhile, has closed back in on Lord George, is looking to try and make a move for P11 outside of the points. Where are these guys on track? This is Ragnar. Is he finally going to make the move? Looking for P2. But he inside. He will outbrake Nibbler. Nibbler tries to hold it on the outside. Gets to run. Good stuff by Nibbler for that defense. Now Ragnar's forced to the outside line again. Can he go around the outside? All the way around the outside? No, he's squeezed off. Contact between the two. Ragnar almost into the wall by Nibbler there. They got stuck on each other's tyres. That could have ended in tears. Ferrari are definitely going to the end. They're trying the one-stop. Tester is closing in on these guys. Tester could still be on for second place here, but his win's gone and he'll be absolutely gutted pending if Chazza doesn't make any mistakes at the end. Ragnar trying to go around the outside of Nibbler once again. This time, is he going to get it done before the breaking done? He does. Nibbler has to concede, but Ragnar goes deep on the brakes. Is he going to go around the outside? No, squeezed out by Ragnar once again. Ragnar takes P2 away from the Australian, puts a spanner in between the Ferrari's plans today for the 1-2. Can Nibbler offer anything in form of an attack now on Ragnar? Or will he have to worry about the yellow Renault, who did pit? Nibbler will have DRS, but doesn't really have a lot of ERS to play with. Has Nibbler got anything? He's using all the ERS that he can to try bring him back into the clutches of Ragnar. Or is Ragnar just going to drive away now? How much will Tester manage to gain in the next lap and a bit? Meanwhile, Seppi and Lord George still going at it. These guys have been having a race-long battle. 0.2 of a second separates them. Into sector 2. Very tight and twisty. DRS we go then. Is he going to be able to offer anything, I wonder? Down the inside, potentially? No, too far back to make a move on this occasion. Might be able to get it done into turn 1. If you could say it about this distance, he'll definitely get it done before turn 1. Into the penultimate. And then the final, but he's lost so much time already. Dougie Afro, man, is losing positions because he's on 24-lap old Ultras. His tyre's definitely over the cliff. I'm not sure what Dougie's trying to prove here at the moment. It went from being an incredible stint to just being not viable. I think he should pit and take on some hypers because he could still come out within distance of staying in the points, but I don't know. Really not sure what the plan has been for Dougie Afroman here today. Maybe trying to prove a point. But here we go. Tester Meister has caught Nibbler. And will Tester be able to get back on the podium? No, yes, because that's a lockup from Nibbler. Nibbler shoved off the podium into such a dominant display of grip from Tester. He'll try hold it around the outside. There's no grip for the Ferrari on them 17 laps of Ultras, sorry. Tester had so much more grip there. It wasn't even a challenge. He's through into P3. And for the first time in a long time, we see Nibbler off the podium. These guys all now lapping Maka. Maka trying to stay out the way the best that he can. But it looks like a crazy strategy to go slower, to make less pit stops. Has worked for Chazza today. It's worked for Ferrari. No one saw it coming. Around the final corner we come then, and it's going to be Chazza that wins in Russia, and that one well and truly in F1 2010 fashion came out of nowhere. Ragnar holds on for second. Tester will round off the podium. Nibbler, for the first time in a long time, finishes off the podium. Nemesis, a good P5 for Haas, good 5 and 6. Well, provisional 5 and 6. It's not over yet because Defstez is still trying to close in on Kevin Jacobs. This is going to be close, I think. Kevin Jacobs did pass Defstez on the hypers, but now the hypers have kind of gone off the cliff a little bit. Defstez has closed back in. He's tried, but it looks like it's Kevin's to lose. 6th place, final corner for Kevin Jacobs. He'll hold on for 6th place. Defstez will have to settle for 7th. Dougie Afroman made 25 laps on the Ultrasoft tyres after pitting on lap 2. Bizarre strategy. Danny Bin Lahar will finish P9. Murcielago will round them out on the points then. Who won in this little battle? Oh, they're caught behind. Seppi holds on for 11th in that race-long battle with Lord Jord. What a crazy, crazy race that was. We saw action all over the place. Tester loses the win after pitting for second. No one else pitted. Chazza wins another one. That's an experience for you. Not knowing the right strategy. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, then Chazza wins round 16 of the NORL F1 2018 Championship. What a crazy race that was. We saw a lot of crashes. Nibbler had a penalty anyway, so he was always going to lose third place, sorry. It's been a long time since we've seen a Ferrari not on the podium, though. Defstez went from a best qualifying of his NORL career to having an accident with Ragnar. I'm going to see what the stewards say about that, because I'm kind of interested in that one. Dougie Afroman puts in a mighty stint on the Ultrasoft tyres. Crazy. Who picks up the fastest lap? There was any 33s. There was Kevin Jacobs on a 33. I think Kevin Jacobs has the fastest lap at a Grand Prix, unless I'm very much mistaken. I think Kevin Jacobs takes the fastest lap at a Grand Prix then with a 33.4 on them hypers towards the end. So, ladies and gentlemen, that has been round 16 of the NORL F1 2018 Championship. It was a crazy one, wasn't it? But thank you so much for watching anyway. Next time we will be at round 17, I believe, for Suzuka. And up next, to Steward's Room. We'll see you next Sunday at the same time. Thank you so much for watching. And goodbye.